Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time. Let me just make sure my mic is being picked up here. It's been quite some time since I've been with you all, but it's been a wild road, and I knew that I was preparing to go to court with my ex, and which is the narcissist. And um, so I just spent the last few months really honing in on helping my children and preparing myself, like document wise and everything for court. So we've spent now our first week in court, and this is just sort of my breakdown and debriefing after our first week in court. We have another 4 days or so to go. But I just thought it was important to talk to you guys if you are preparing to go to court as well, and just have this like raw conversation about the challenges and the things that you might face when you get there that were unexpected. So, initially, when I separated from my ex, I had reached out to a lawyer to help me with the court process because I'm unfamiliar with it all, and I wanted the best outcome for my children. I reached out to her, I signed a retainer, and within only about a week or so, he wasted the entire retainer. So be prepared for that. Narcissists love to foil your plans and make things as challenging as possible for you. He was sending nonsense emails to my lawyer. Things like I asked for to talk only through a parenting app, and he replied saying he didn't know how to navigate the app and he was worried about privacy concerns. Like just nonsense like that. She would send him one email, he'd send her five back with just pages of stuff to read. So it took a lot of time for her to do it, and quickly my retainer was eaten up before she was able to even fill out any documents or anything. So I knew at that point I was probably going to have to go at it alone because um, it didn't matter how much money I had invested in a lawyer, he was going to eat up every dollar of it with the nonsense. And this is a part of the abuse, right? They don't want a resolution. They want to try and bankrupt you. They really want to make things as terrible as possible on you. But I did hear a lawyer once say um, that you're either going to live in hell or you're going to go through hell getting out of it. So I'm more willing to go through hell to get out of this and make a good outcome for my children and I. Even if that means that for the time that court goes on, it's hard. And even if it means that afterwards, like we're living even in a cardboard box, but it can't matter. Like you have to really be resolved that this is a life or death situation. And that's how it was for us. I could see that my life was, my health and everything was in danger. I was getting sicker and sicker. And I could see my children just riddled with anxiety and just suffering. So it was really a life or death situation. And whatever it takes to get out of it, you've got to be prepared to do it. Um, you can buy a car again, you can buy another house, you can replace the money in the bank account, but you can't replace your health. You can't replace your children. You can't replace the damage that narcissists will do if you give them free rein in your life. So please, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, it's hard, and try and find supports and try and find um, outside supports that they don't know anything about, because they will go and they will attack the supports that you think you have. There's so much to share. There's so much to talk about, but um, we I finally had to take on the paperwork and all the court stuff on my own, navigating that, as well as being a parent, as well as, taking care of my own health issues and that of my children's. Like, it's a lot, so you have to be ready. But I got all the paperwork in, and every time that the court accepted my paperwork for filing, it felt like a victory because the loops and the hoops and the specific things that they're looking for on the form, like if you don't get every last one, they're going to reject the forms. So we've been like, what is it, 19 months going through this, and we finally got to the court stage and we were at trial. And so I was just thrilled to have survived this year and a half and got to trial, got all my documents accepted so that we could go to trial. And we walked in there, and the judge was, hmm, I don't know what to say. I want to choose my words carefully because I don't want to, I just, I don't want to be prejudicial towards the treatment that I got. Perhaps there's a reason for it in the end, but over this past week of being in court, I really felt um, she wasn't on my side. She really made it seem like being a stay-at-home parent is nothing, and that um, my concerns were nothing. So we'll see how it all turns out in the end. But through prayer, and so much prayer has been sent up to heaven on our behalf and from me, the one that was making all the noise earlier. Um, I would say to prepare for court, make sure that if you have any objections, that you raise them at the beginning of court immediately. Just stand up and say, Your Honor, I have some preliminary issues, and raise your objections. I was going in there believing that she was running my trial, and she just started up right out of the gate. And um, I wasn't given an opportunity to raise my objections. I wasn't given an opportunity um, to talk about my disability and the accommodations I needed. And so that was on me that I made that mistake, but that got the trial like off on the wrong foot. And I think that I really caused some setbacks for myself in terms of having the trial laid out properly. So if you have preliminary issues that you know are important, definitely raise those at the beginning. If you have any disabilities or accommodations that you need, whether she asks or not, or he asks or not, definitely raise those because those are super important. I found that my health through the week was horrible. Like it was so bad. I live with type 1 diabetes, and that means that my blood sugars are on the top of my mind at all times. And it's not just about eating or it's everything. It's the sleeping, it's the stress. They can impact my blood sugars, and dangerously high blood sugars can cause me to go into a coma or death, and low blood sugars can do the same thing. So it's really important to keep your disability in mind and make sure that the judge understands the importance of it and really accommodates your needs so that you stay in a healthy place. I would also say prepare for meals ahead of court. So don't rely on the breaks that they give you um, or evening times to have a chance to prepare something. Like have meals in the freezer ready to go prior to trial starting because once trial starts, it's all in. Like every evening, I was coming home and doing something for the judge. Like she just required some other ridiculous thing. And so I wasn't able to cook and I wasn't able to eat properly. So that's really important. You will not have as much time as you think you have in the day. Um, so definitely plan ahead for that. We're going back to court again, so I'm planning to pre-cook meals. I'm also planning to make like breads and things like that, like zucchini breads and banana breads and things like that that are easy just to slice up and add some protein with it and have it, but plan it out ahead. Um, I would also suggest taking a friend with you. They can be helpful just to take notes and to help you stay in the zone and not in the emotions. They can be there to support you when you have to be around your ex and it's really hard. Um, that sort of thing. What else would I recommend? Um, if you've served your ex with evidence like digitally, you need to bring a copy physically and have the copies page numbered, like not just the documents numbered. So if you have like five documents and they each have 5 pages, you should have like every page should have a number. So page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like all the way to 25. So if you have 5 documents with 5 pages each, then it should be numbered 1 through 25. That was a big issue for me. So the first day, I did not bring a physical copy of my evidence with me. And the evidence that I had brought for the judge and the court staff and myself wasn't page numbered, they were document numbered. And so it seems like a little silly mistake, but it threw my entire case off the rails because she sent me home with 3 binders to come back with 4 of them and them to be all page numbered. So that meant that I needed to make like I needed to put page numbers on like over 1,600 pages that I had compiled over 6 months in one overnight. I did not sleep that entire night, just putting page numbers on things. And even then, I still couldn't come back with all my evidence. I had to cherry pick what I thought was really important. And I ended up leaving like 2/3 of my binder to the side because I did not have them page numbered and I wasn't able to access them and use them as evidence after that. So again, like these are little things that nobody really tells you because you're not a law professional. You haven't gone to law school for 7 years. But those are the little things that can put your whole case, like, you throw it off. So instead of having my full binder, I only had 1/3 of it to rely on as evidence. And that is very challenging because every time she'd be like, well, you don't have proof of this. And I'm like, I do have proof, but it's in the 2/3 that you made me leave out. And she doesn't like that at all. So she's getting frustrated with me and I'm getting frustrated with her. And that's not a good combination for court. So as much as you prepare, also be prepared with those little things that you wouldn't necessarily know unless you were a law professional. But that's one tip. Number every single page, not just the documents. What else? Like, thank God we had such an amazing team of people supporting me that have been able to take care of my children and feed them and play with them and do all sorts of things while I had to go to court. So that was a huge blessing that I didn't have to worry about them at all. And oftentimes, these friends would actually feed me dinner when I came back from court too. So that was such a huge blessing to just have so many people like that love us in our corner. Um, Yeah, it's emotional. It's emotional. So, be prepared for that. I watched something by Aaron Dougherty on YouTube, and he talks about frame. And so I'm a person that like absorbs other people's energy. I want people to like me. I'm very empathetic. I'm very like emotional. I really like to connect to people. And so not being able to connect to this judge has been really challenging for me. Um, and so this whole frame idea of just being okay with just being yourself and not having to be seeking approval from other people is a big thing for me. Like, and so I have to walk into the courtroom more with that mindset. As much as she's judging, at the end of the day, you can always appeal. And that's probably we'll see what happens, but there's always an appeals process if the law wasn't followed properly or something like that. So have your case law ready, know what case law you're relying on to get the outcome you're looking for. And in the end, if things still don't go properly, you can always appeal. And so keeping that in the back of your mind doesn't make it so tragic and like fatalistic, like whatever she says is going to happen and I have no recourse. There are options. And so remembering that has been something that I needed to do throughout the trial and just rest on. And also that God is in control. She can't do anything, and he can't do anything that God doesn't allow. As much as this is difficult, I'm just looking forward to being on the other side of it. This is like the one last hurdle of trials and all of that, before you are free. Like this is the end, right? Like you can't continue to control me after this. So those are the few things I would definitely suggest. There's been times throughout the cross-examination where you can clearly see he's just trying to humiliate me by making me read certain things or whatever. So you just answer honestly, answer the question the best as you can. If you don't know something, you say you don't know. If you don't remember something, say you don't remember. There's no harm in asking for the question to be repeated, but the narcissist who is a liar is always going to be trying to trap you into a lie because they project who they are onto you. So if they're a cheater, they're going to try and call you out for cheating. If they're hiding money, they're going to try and call you out for hiding money. If um if they weren't an active parent, they're going to try and call you out as an inactive parent. So you've just got to hold your composure and understand that this is going to be filled with accusations and lies, and you have to just answer truthfully and trust God that the truth will come out to light. Um, the judge is a person. She may get it wrong. She may get it right. And you just have to wait and see. But you, at the end of the day, know what's best for your children and you know what's best for you. And you just have to be willing and capable of fighting for that. And a part of being capable is just anticipating what things will come up. Um, and so it's challenging. So if you are planning to leave a narcissist or are leaving a narcissist and going through this court process, reach out to me. I'd be happy to support you and help you, coach you on strategies and things that you might need to really get through these difficult days. But brighter days are coming. We're going through this hell so we can get out of the permanent hell. And so just remember that. And God is in control and He knows He has a plan for you that's greater than all of these bad people's plan for you or your children. So that's it for today. That's sort of the update on where I've been and why I haven't been on here chatting with you. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I will try to jump on here more often. But as I said, I had just been spending the past few months really focused in on my case and focused in on my children and what was best for them. But as soon as this case is over, I'm looking forward to spending more time with you guys and helping to support you guys getting through your narcissistic abuse relationships and getting onto better days. Um, love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.